Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review brought to you by First NBC Bank with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. The Saints got through their first preseason game against the Chiefs. They won the game, which, of course, is neither here nor there unless you are all about winning. In exhibition games, what was significant is a lot of guys got to play. Some guys showed well and helped their causes, and most importantly, Lenny, no one got hurt seriously.
That's probably the biggest thing that comes out of this. I know you listen to Sean Payton after the game, and he's got a lot of things he wants to clean up. You know, in a coach's mind, the best thing that can happen is you get a win and you feel good about what you did, and you've got some things that you can show on the tape that are correctable mistakes. And obviously, I think he feels like there were a number of things that needed to be corrected, from situations where they were aligned improperly to 10 men on the field in some circumstances. Whatever the case may be, there's some things that they've got to clean up. Now, obviously, the starters did not play long. The Saints actually played their starters in longer than the Chiefs did. The Chiefs basically kept the ones out there for one series, the Saints a little bit longer. That was part of the plan, perhaps, but that really, about probably the only thing that we learned is maybe the Saints' backups are a little bit better than the Chiefs' backups. In all honesty, when the ones went against the ones, the Chiefs won. So that's, it's a preseason game at the end of the day, and, people are, going to keep cards in their pocket, if you will, and, it's you don't learn a lot from an X and O perspective, that's for sure.
No Marcus Colston. And, of course, on defense, you can truly make the argument that several of the guys that started the game will not be starters on opening day, either because of injuries or because the twos are better than the ones. I think that is still a work in progress.
It is, and I think there are certainly some moving parts out there in terms of what you do. But there are guys, you won't have Martez Wilson until late in the preseason. Junior Gillette did not play. Patrick Robinson just coming off a pup. So there's some guys out there who are going to be a part of the mix come September 8th when the Falcons come to town that were not on the field on Saturday, or I should say Friday. And, on offense, obviously, Pierre Thomas did not play. Marcus Colston did not play. Drew Brees was out there just for two series. So, you're not in a lot of the other ones, although the one offensive line did stick around to work a little bit, which I found interesting, that they stayed out there a little bit longer to work with McCown in the second unit, for a little bit of that second quarter.
Yeah, McCown, one of those that helped himself, played very well other than the interception, and showed some good mobility and throwing the ball accurately when moving. And, of course, Charles Brown did a solid job. By all accounts, at left tackle, looks like the solid favorite to win that job. And as I mentioned, defensively, stay tuned. You've got a lot of guys who are likely going to stick around that you may not have heard of previously, and they may end up playing for this football team at some point. The Raiders are in town on Friday night, and, of course, we'll have full coverage here at SportsNola.com. The Zephyrs continuing a road trip, lost 3 out of 4 at Tucson. Now they're on to Las Vegas. They're home Friday night against Iowa for a series starting with the Cubs then as their season begins to wind down.
Yeah, it does begin to wind down, and they had things going there for a little while and then bumping the road in Tucson. But I think they'd won 5 in a row before they hit a little bit of a skid there. But, hey, they again, like we talked about last week, you got guys that aren't necessarily playing out the string, maybe here with 3 weeks left in the season, trying to do enough that would warrant a September call-up by the Miami Marlins.
It was a very special night on Saturday night in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Greater New Orleans Hall of Fame, honoring several worthy nominees and honorees over the course of the evening. You can watch it many times on WHNO Channel 20 and through SportsNola.com. We'll have it up in the next couple of days. And with regard to the honorees, Tony Reginelli, longtime prep coach from Newman. Of course, Rodney Holman, former Tulane star, played in the NFL. Morton Anderson, all-time leading scorer in NFL history. The Hall of Fame inductees and the Corbett Award winners, LSU's tandem of Kimberlin Duncan and Aaron Nola.
Both well-deserving. Certainly Aaron Nola had a sensational season. Kimberlin Duncan, outstanding, as LSU, particularly women's track and field, has been for the last generation, and they continue to turn out great sprinters and jumpers and through that program, and on the Hall of Famers, those guys you mentioned, I mean, they're all Hall of Fame worthy and very deserving of the honor. And I know it really meant a lot to Tony Reginelli as he had dozens of supporters in the crowd to see him get the honor.
Yeah, it was very special. A good night as always, and a good job by the Sugar Bowl to make this happen on an annual occasion, and we appreciate their support as well. And of course, it's going to be a fun week looking ahead to what transpires with the Saints, among other things, Lenny. So we look forward to another week.
Yep.
Good sports stuff.
Yeah, we get ready, and the countdown continues here. We're just, a couple weeks away from high school football and college football. One more week after that, the Saints will get started a Sunday after Labor Day. It is here.
And we'll talk a lot more about college football in the days and weeks to come. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank. For Lenny Vangilder, I'm Ken Trahan. Have a great week, and God bless.